Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Samhain, Halloween 2022 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So in Celtic tradition, it was said that Samhain, Halloween, was the time when the link between earth and the spirit realm is the thinnest. So this was a time with the Druids and where it was the tradition to have the prophecies, to really connect and to help bring something to hope for, something to focus on while we were in the womb of winter in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, when you're stepping out into summer, it does feel like a good way to really focus on what to set our sights on, what to focus on individually as we step out of the womb of winter and into the brightness, the birth of summer. So let's see, Aries, what energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have the Seven of Cups. Interesting. We need to be very mindful of falling into dreams, falling into the what ifs, the dreaming of what could happen, the sense of not really being focused in reality, but being caught up in daydreams, being caught up in a fantasy world or in a fantasy setting. Spirit is saying be very mindful of this, because it's almost as if our dreams or our imagination can be more real than the reality that we're in. So it can be more real to us, can be much more potent in our minds than the reality that we're in. We can need it as an escape, but there is just a sense of, it's almost as if I need to escape, I need to release, and so things can be blown out of proportion. Just be very mindful of this. Centering ourselves, making sure that we're focusing on our breathing, focusing on our body, taking ourselves out of the chaos will help us be more in reality and more in our center, because there's just a sense of getting caught up in other people's dramas or getting caught up in nonsense that really in the long run does not have any benefit for us. So just be aware of this. Okay, let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. You see all that? Okay, I'm just hearing that song, I'm going out with my boots on, and there's a real sense of I'm really being in the moment, but you might find that this is a time where you're putting your boots on. You're really preparing for what needs to be done, and you're very much being focused for where you need to be. There is a sense also of a connection with the earth, a connection with the ground that we're walking on being astoundingly important and astoundingly valuable to us. Can I move this? I'm just going to move it over here. Okay. So we have here the Five of Cups. We have the Two of Wands, Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. Okay. Suspension, which is the Hangman. And we have the Queen of Swords coming through. The Queen of Swords is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Now, this time period, in the time period of Halloween or Samhain, is within the Scorpio time period, which makes perfect sense because it is really telling us that the veil between the spirit world and the earthly plane is the thinnest. And this is a time period when we are very in tuned to that energy. We're very in tuned to the ways that we need to move forward for us, or, just being guided by a higher presence and a higher purpose. This is going to be a time, okay, here, there's a balance coming in from the spirit world to the waking world that is going to be very important for you. There's a changing of your mind and changing what you've been focusing on, all right, which is going to help lead from a lot of disappointments, a lot of angers, a lot of frustrations. A door is being opened, but it's almost like we're starting to see things coming together in ways that they just simply hadn't before. I'm just seeing oil and water, like it wasn't mixing. All of a sudden here, Aries, we're going to see things starting to mix together, starting to come together, starting to move in a lot more smoothly. It's not separating. And I don't know if we're cooking, we're having something separate and it's just adding a frustration to us. But there is, while you're listening to this, but there's a sense of I'm getting the measurements right. I'm getting things right in order to move forward the way that I need to. Balance is going to be so important for this time, and a sense of, oh, I hadn't seen it that way. I hadn't thought of it that way. I hadn't looked at it like that. That's going to be something that we are really connecting with. There is also a sense of the way that we had seen things before, what we had been focusing on, that's changing. We're going to start to open up a door that we need to walk through. We're going to start seeing things in a way that is a lot better for us. The Queen of Swords. There's a message. There's a message coming to you. Hold on just a minute. All right. Somebody's watching over you, Aries, and they're guiding you in a way that they wish they would have been guided. This is an ancestor. This can be, somebody from a past life, but there is this real energy of, I want to see you walk forward in a success and in a balance of harmony with the spirit world and the waking world that I didn't have. This person was way too focused on the earthly plane. And they're saying, and I'm not saying this like, okay, so what Spirit is showing me is that they forgot the spiritual side of their lives. They forgot to connect. They forgot to slow down. They forgot to laugh and to really enjoy. There was just such a sense of duty, responsibility. I need to get things done. There was such a burden put on their shoulders that the beauty of life wasn't there for them. And they are really saying here, Aries, I understand that slowing down and seeing what is beautiful is not necessarily an Aries trait, but they want it to be your trait. They definitely want it to be your trait. I see this very much as a woman coming forward, okay? Or a man who has realized the power of connection to the moments. But I see this as somebody who, during their waking life, had a lot of responsibilities on their shoulders, had way more stress than they could handle, all right? And is trying to get you to really slow down and be centered in you and not be pulled away by other people's nonsense. Because there is a sense here of others. There's like gossip, there's sabotage, there's just people being petty that can pull you down, and they're like, don't you dare. This person had a way with words. This person had a love of the sarcastic, kind of the absurd, okay? They had a dry, wicked sense of humor. So just be aware of this. And they had this kind of like deadpan delivery that wasn't always appreciated. And I actually see they got in trouble for that when they were little. So just be aware. Okay. oh goodness, let's go one by one before we dive deeper. With the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is saying change your mind and change your life. It will be so easy for us to focus on the chaos, to focus on the nonsense. It will be a lot more difficult, a lot more trying, it's a lot more important that we say there are some things in life I cannot change. I'm stopping punishing myself for them. And I am embracing what I need, what I want, and what I desire for myself. And that becomes the game changer here. And that's what's crowning everything. It's kind of like we're stepping out of darkness, but we are making this choice to step out of the darkness, because otherwise it's really going to engulf us, and we're going to find it harder and harder the more it engulfs us. We're going to find it harder to step away from it, to step out of it. It's just going to become a part of who we are, a part of how we see ourselves, a part of the energy that is calling to us during this time. So be very aware of this. A door is opening. Now, you might actually find yourself walking through a doorway and be like, oh my gosh, I never thought of this. I never thought this could happen. I never thought I could own this house or see this property or go to this place. For some of you, Aries, it's going to be very physical. Like you walk through a door at work and all of a sudden you're being, kind of read into a bigger project than you thought you could be a part of. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. So be aware of that it can be something very physical during this time that is being open to you. But you're also starting to see yourself saying, well, why the heck not? And Aries, the thing is that we are represented by the god of war. We are represented by like the extreme general of everything, the one who oversees, the one who needs everything to be set up right, to be organized, to be aligned. And this is going to be a time where we find ourselves saying, well, why not trying this? Why not do this? Why not open up this door? Why not, take this? It feels like a risk at times. And it's like, what? Why not? Because that's going to be very important for us. The sense of trying something new. We might fail. And Spirit's saying there's nothing wrong in failure. We tend to think, oh my gosh, if I don't get it right the first time, it's going to be terrible. Spirit is really letting us know this can be a time where we might see something fall apart or fall on its face, and we think, oh, I have to walk away from this. It just didn't work out right. And it's like, no, you learned a lot of valuable lessons. You're seeing yourself move forward to where you need to be. You're going to have to, this is going to be a time where Spirit's saying you're going to have to physically feel something. You're going to have to physically experience something, okay? To realize it's like, oh, well, this has shifted. It's kind of like if you could drink, right? And you were drinking and your body decided, I don't want this anymore. And so after you have a drink, you get sick. And you're thinking, oh, what's going on here? And it's like your body is telling you, no, this is not a door we're walking through anymore. You're going to find something like that. And I do feel it is very much in the physical. It's very much connected to how we're viewing our bodies and how we're viewing ourselves. There's a door that's going to be opened, but it happens because also something else is closed. There's going to be a sense of, well, I wouldn't be taking this risk, or I wouldn't be walking through this door if that opportunity hadn't closed in my face, or that didn't become, kind of not right for me anymore. So just be aware of that. There's something here that's opening, and it's going to be important, especially, as we're entering winter in the southern hemisphere, as you're entering summer, as we have this physical change happening, we're seeing ourselves be able to move to what is now needed. It's like now we have shifted. We have shifted what's important. It brings us to a sense of balance for ourselves. There is an energy walking with us, okay? There is a person walking with us. There's something about their hair. I don't know if somebody has, it's kind of like, it's very Victorian, right? A hair in a locket, or hair in a keepsake, or somebody kept like baby hair. There is something here where this person kept hair. It's either in a locket, it's either baby hair. I don't know exactly how it is, but the hair is going to be important. And it's about balance. It's about this person saying, be a lot more balanced in your life than what you are right now. Because we're pushing in one direction, we're pushing so hard that we're missing the sight of other things. We're missing the power of ourselves, the insight of ourselves, the way that we need to move forward for us. This is going to be a time where it can feel overwhelming. We can feel like we're connecting to a lot that doesn't make sense because it's out of our comfort zone. But when we start to see that, spirit doesn't talk the same language that we do, our angels, our spirit guides don't necessarily, connect with us in the most quote unquote logical way. And that's going to be okay. There is a sense of power here. There is a sense of insight here that comes when we start to be much more aware of our souls and ourselves and our bodies. If you can do yoga, if you can do meditation, I'm seeing the breath and vibrational energy being very important. So this can be chanting, this can be, just sitting and making sounds. It sounds funny to say, but just even that energy of sound can be very grounding to you, very important for you to have the ideas come in, to have the insights come. It's kind of almost like, okay, now I'm opening this door for the balance to come in. You're holding a lot of stress in your jaw, okay? Be mindful of grinding your teeth at night. Okay, that's going to be something you have a bit of a problem with because you're moving forward so fast and there's so much stress that's on you. There's a sense that we even carry it into when we sleep. So if you can get one of those watches that monitor our stress, especially while we sleep, just to make sure that we can rest, that we can see, the impact on our bodies. That's going to be something that's very helpful for us because we'd be like, oh, I need to wind things down at night earlier. I need to release this stress. We're starting to see things very differently. The hangman has us seeing things differently than we have before. We might even be saying, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this, or I can't believe that this is resonating with me, or I always thought that this was so astoundingly foolish, and now I'm walking down this path, or now I'm becoming like, one of those tree huggers, or, I'm meditating when I always laughed at it, or I'm not, doing certain things that I thought, oh, I'd always do this. And Spirit is saying that we're seeing things differently, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's actually, we're becoming much more aware of our bodies, our connections, ourselves, what is needed. There is a real sense of us being a lot more present. And that's going to be a very, very, very good thing. It's going to be a very powerful thing. There is also a sense here that we feel like we're going against the grain. It's almost like a salmon swimming upstream. Everybody's, it feels like everything's coming against you. Other people's emotions are going to fight the way that you're moving forward because they want you to stay stuck and small. And you're not really into that. You're really not. It's kind of like, I have to grow, I have to build, and I have to see what is right for me and what, what I want. Now, there's a sense of, I'm done with the craziness. I'm done with the chaos. With the Queen of Swords, there's a very important energy around our speech, around our words, around the knowledge that we're taking in, around what we say to ourselves in the quiet moments. Because somebody's saying here, your speech is more negative than you need it to be, okay? Meaning that we wouldn't talk to strangers the way we're talking to ourselves right now. You have this person watching over you, okay? That is very much saying, you have to stop this. Because they see it as something negative that they did. It's almost like something you inherited. You could have, heard your parents, your guardian, whomever raised you, talk to themselves very negatively while they were cooking, or, when they did something wrong, it always became bigger. It's like, oh, how could I be so stupid? Or they really lambasted you whenever you did something wrong. And so you learned that way of reacting to things that didn't go 100%. And this person is very much saying here, you're learning a skill. You're learning the skill of life. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. You're going to fall. And that's okay. But you're becoming astoundingly powerful, astoundingly proficient. It's like there's a deadly precision to you that you're embracing. And I say this because, and Spirit is saying this, because the sword is the only weapon, right? And the sword can cut and kill and was the weapon of nobility in ancient times. And there's a real sense of us becoming so powerful within the grandeur of ourselves, within the power, intensity, brilliance of us. And it makes us stand apart. It makes us so much more than we had expected, and so much more than others had expected from us. We can have a connection, okay, with a person who's just very blunt. And we have this way of laughing. They can be rude, but once you realize that they're not meaning to be rude, they just have a tendency to be very blunt. They're awfully funny. This person is awfully funny where it's just like they cut to the heart of the matter. They're not going to mince words. They're not going to, dance around anything. This is what needs to be said. This is what needs to be done. And this is what I'm doing. This person also has a way of just calling out a fool that is hysterical. It is absolutely hysterical. So just be aware of this, that this person, for some of you, this person is in the waking world, okay? But for others, you're just going to be getting these insights coming in, like these thoughts. It's this person who's watching over you. And they're bringing that balance into your life. You're so much more connected than you think you are. And this person putting their boots on. I don't know if this person, it's almost like this person was, like, the work that they did was rather physical. This person could have been a nurse too, as well. Like, I just see, like, I have these certain shoes that I put on that this means I'm going to work. And these shoes, they're not, I see them more as comfortable than as really fancy. I don't know why shoes are coming through so powerfully here. But this person, it's like, there's a way you have to walk. And there's an importance to this. Okay? So just be aware. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Okay, yeah. Your greatest strength right now is going to be the power of your voice, and it's going to be the power of the way you see things. There's also a sense here, and excuse my language, but calling out bullshit, there is this sense of, if I see bull, I'm going to state it, at least to myself. It's like, that's nonsense, it doesn't work for me, moving on. There's a heartbreak that you need to turn away from. There is something here that when you went into it with the best of intentions. You went into it with your full heart, your full joy. And you were betrayed 3 times, okay? 3 very distinct things happened that set you apart, okay? Or that made you doubt that that was the right path for you. What Spirit is saying is that the knowledge that you have gained is so important, okay? The way that you have learned not to trust blindly, but to listen to your intuition and to not take people at their word. It's kind of like, prove it. That's going to be a very important thing, Aries. People will say a lot of things, and they have said a lot of things. It's like, prove it, follow through. Let me see how you're building. With the 5 of Cups, you're turning away from the 3 cups that are spilt over. The 3 heartbreaks that have defined you for way too long. And now you're turning towards the 2 cups that stand. The healing, beautiful love that is a part of your life and a part of yourself. That sense of connection, friendship, unity, that sense of beauty. It moves us to the doorway opening. There's a new world that we are stepping into. And there's also a sense of, what do I want my world to be? Where do I want my world to be? How do I want my world to be for me? Everybody's world is different. And yet we're told by the media, by everything that we see, and all the subliminal messages that we're bombarded with, that success looks one certain way, beauty looks one certain way, happiness looks one certain way. But we have to do what's right for us. We have to embrace our joys and our laughter and our connections. Our world is opening, but we're going to see that there's a door that's closing quite strongly, that it's time for the ending. The ending might be bittersweet, but it's time to close that chapter. It is time to close that chapter. With Temperance and the Queen of Cups. Again, reiterating that it's feminine energy that's coming forward. This person is defined by their heart. This person is defined by their heart, the way that they connect, the way that they see people, okay? They see more now than they did when they were alive, okay? But this is an energy of somebody who was defined by the big heart that they had, was defined by the love that they could give. This person, because they were so giving, because they were so loving, had their heart got hardened. It was like they took too much, and there could have been a bitterness or a sadness that had come forward in them. So just be aware of that, you know, and they're really not wanting that for you. They're not wanting you to have had your heart broken that way. And they're kind of afraid that with everything that you have been through, everything that you have endured, there can be a hardness that grows around you, and they're like, don't. I'm just seeing taking off the barnacles on taking off the barnacles. And it's like, it's hard work. You can cut yourself. It's dangerous work. But it's time to remove that which can sink you. Okay? That's very important. There's something with knives. Either this person was always like, oh, that knife is too sharp type of thing, or they had a thing with like, you carry a sharp knife or you have a sharp pocket knife. Okay, that just needs to be acknowledged. With the 10 of Swords, there's overkill. Okay? With seeing things differently, we can have things be overkill beforehand. It's kind of like, I've been through too much, I've taken too much, it's been too much. We can have a moment here, Aries, where we just kind of have a meltdown. It's kind of like a little kid hissy fit. And we need to have that hissy fit. We need to have that sense of, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm absolutely fed up. And then there's a release that's going to happen, or there's an awakening that's going to happen. But there is a sense of just being beyond fed up. It's like we've reached our saturation point. And once we've reached that saturation point, all of a sudden we're going to be seeing things differently for ourselves, what we want, what we need, what we've been trusting in, and how we've been seeing other people. There's also a sense of, I was trying to be part of something, but it's not working. It's not working. I see things differently than them. And I need to acknowledge that, and I need to move forward in what is powerful, what is connected, what is, honest for me. Okay? You've also gained a lot of knowledge through the malarkey that you have been through the muck and the mire that you have had to trudge through. There's a tremendous amount of strength to your voice, Aries. You see things now that you haven't seen. You're connecting with things that you haven't connected with. You're also seeing people's words. And it can be like, it's kind of like some words when people speak, you're like, lie, lie, lie. And then when they speak the truth, it's like, oh, yes, that rings true. And it's kind of like a bell chiming. Just be aware of that. Or there's somebody that you're connecting with, and it's like, okay, they're not telling you the full story. They're not telling you the full story. And then it's like, oh, that's it. That's the truth right there that I need to follow. Or you're listening to people, and it's like, nope, not right, not right. And then something is going to ring true, and it's going to really feel like a bell, a crystal bell ringing. And it's like, that was what I was missing. There's tremendous strength in your words, in your mind, in everything that you have learned, and in every way that you are moving forward for you. You're setting yourself apart, and that is a tremendously good thing. Instinct is going to be very important. You're going to want to have those facts because you are a very earth-centered sign, fire sign energy, very earth-centered. What we're going to see here is that we're running a bit more off of instinct, and we have to just embrace that instinct in ourselves because it's going to be very important. It is very important. Now, our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Princess of Cups. Remember, Spirit said we have a little bit of a hissy fit? That's coming through. And it can just be, it's enough. It's enough. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this. And we can really just have our emotions become overwhelming. We need to be aware of that. We just need to be aware of it during this time. We can also be listening to people who can be very immature with what they think is owed to them, what they think they should be getting. Our subconscious tarot message is the Three of Wands and the Seven of Swords. So the Three of Wands is a doors opening for us. There is a way that we're moving forward, but there is somebody who is going to lie to us, okay? There is somebody who's going to be withholding information, who's going to be holding things back and saying, oh, I never got that memo, or telling us to read something that isn't important instead of something that that is important for our job or is important information for us to have. They're going to be withholding something. It's going to be a lie. This person lies a lot, so just be aware of it. And they're going to be holding us back in some way, but we're going to be breaking through, and we're going to see, or Or they say like, oh, this person said something about us and they never did. So just be very aware of this. Subconsciously, we're going to have a mistrust for somebody, and we're going to think, why should I be mistrusting them? This person is really going to help us move forward. But no, this person lies, and you know it. You know it. You will start to, it will start to unravel. You'll start to see it. Okay? But you're going to be moving further ahead than this person is. So just be aware of that. And this person is kind of jealous, very much so. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this Samhain, this Halloween, and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries. And may you have a blessed Halloween.